So we will be talking about how to master self-promotion. This is your first time on my live stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Alicia Perkins. I am a career development coach, and I empower high-performing leaders to elevate their earnings and get rid of those things holding you back and excel in your career. So welcome this morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. Also, just FYI, if you cannot stay for the whole live stream, this replay is going to be saved on my channel on YouTube. Y'all make sure that you guys are subscribed over there. The name over there is I Am Alicia Perkins. I save everything over there, and I am going to be starting very soon, trying to create more videos just for that particular site. So if you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe over there. Okay, so I want to talk about today, guys. I think it's really, really important for you guys to know how to communicate the value that you have. And so if you struggle with that, right? If you're like, Alicia, I know that I bring value, I don't always know how to express it. Sometimes I'm afraid. Sometimes I don't know what it is that I should say, or even the results that you should be actually highlighting. It's important for me to know to make sure that I am giving the value to the right people. So you can let me know that you hopped on this live stream. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about, guys, why is it important, especially in the job market that we are in, that you know how to communicate the value that you have. It's really important, for one, because I don't want you guys thinking that this is just a concept that you need to have if you are looking for a job, right? It's even more important for you guys to even be able to know how to articulate the value that you have in your workplace. Right. Especially now, you guys are seeing a lot of people being laid off. And I will say this, just because you are laid off from a job does not mean that you did not bring any value. So I do want to say that, right, at all. But I do want you to know that it is important for you to be able to let the people know who you work for and who you work under, to be able to express the value that you bring. This is going to help you when you want to ask for a raise. This even helps you in your mind. A lot of people struggle with beliefs of, I don't think I have enough, just all of this self-doubt. And that's because you have not been able to identify yourself. What is the value that I bring here? Like, what is my little space here, right? And a lot of times you can see the success around you, but you don't even really have an understanding to what degree that you played in that success. And so I think it's really important for you to not get so caught up in those day-to-day tasks, to not get so focused on those day-to-day details that you don't realize. Well, hold on, right? Understanding what it is that you bring. And also, a lot of people, sorry, you guys might have my notes. A lot of people know that even when you want to change careers, or even when you are thinking about what does that next move look like for me, a lot of people struggle with that because they like, okay, I did this, but I don't know how it aligns with that, right? And you find yourself being stuck in your mind because you're like, man, I know I have I have all of these skills and I have all of this experience, but what helps you to get clear on what that next move means for you is to be able to identify what is the value that you bring. So one thing I want to say is that, again, it's kind of like what I already said, because of the job space that we are in now, it is so important for you to know, where do you fit in it? Like, where is it that you fit in the midst of all of this, right? And so even when you're talking about being able to express the value that you bring, like I said, this is not just on your job. This is you in your job search process, your actual page on LinkedIn. A lot of people struggle with writing, the information on their page and things like that, is because they don't know the value that you bring. You don't understand, okay, what are the results that my skill set brings forth? Because knowing your skill set and knowing your value is two different things. And I'll say it like this: you being able to know the tasks you do is different from you knowing the skills that you have, and knowing the skills that you have is different from you knowing the value that you bring, right? So the more, how can I say it, the more engaged you become in the work that you do, the easier it is for you to be able to identify the value that you bring. A lot of people cannot identify the value that they bring is because they have shut off in their mind a long time ago. You are simply going through the motions at work, right? You're either burnt out, you're frustrated, you're bored, and you don't realize that when you are in that state, you cannot effectively be able to see the value that comes forth, right? So I need you to start thinking about, wait a minute, when I'm at work, I can't get caught up in these little bitty small details and tasks. I need to be able to step back and see the 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 actual, like, the results that are actually brought forth. Somebody say, I write better than I speak. And that's what that happens to a lot of people. And I'm so glad you said that, because this is actually a point I want to talk about. And even you being able to even express the value that you bring, that is going to change on the person that you are speaking to. Right. And so this is not a script that I want you guys to have on your mind. Right. But this is more of you being able to come into the reality of what you bring to the table and being able to embrace that. The number one struggle, the number one reason why you cannot express the value that you bring, in most people, it is confident, right? Two, it is because you are not sure of who you are. I'm gonna say it again. The two top reasons why people struggle with this is because of confidence, and also you not knowing who you are. Because if you don't have these two concepts down, it's going to be really hard for you to be able to sit down and realize, okay, when I work for someone, this is the part that I play in their success. And the higher that you move up, it is more important for you to be clear on what that is, right? Um, a word that you may hear all the time is that is your value proposition. And it's up to you to realize that as you advance in your career, it is up to you to know when that has changed, right? Because you may find yourself being really effective in one area for years, right? But as you move up that chain, right, as you start to seek those more advanced positions, that value prop is going to change. Because is there anybody on here who is wanting to seek director roles and up? Right. So let me know if you want to seek a director role or up. So talking about director role, we're talking about VP, and we're talking about C-suite roles, right? Because even the value that you bring is going to have to shift. Now, I didn't say that the value that you have, you got to just throw that value away and start over, right? But that value that you bring is going to have to shift. And a lot of people, they can't make that mind switch, right? So they may even get the job, but they will not be effective in it, and they will not be able to really bring forth the impact that they desire, because that mind shift has it's it hasn't made the shift, right? So even when you are talking about moving from an actual manager position, now you're talking about moving to an actual director role. Two different values there, right? One person was able to give instructions and say, okay, team, you need to do this, you need to do this. The other one has to teach. The other one has to motivate. The other one has to take the vision that's in their mind, and now they have to be able to teach, they have to be able to inspire, and they have to be able to communicate effectively. And a lot of people don't make the switch. They may get the job, right? Meaning they may have that job role. Okay, now this is my new job role, but the shift has never changed. They wonder why they cannot connect with their team the way that they desire to. They wonder why their team can't bring forth the results and really hit those goals as they should, because they never made that switch up here. I'm no longer a doer. I don't just shout out something and say, hey, that has to be done. But now I need to be able to teach. I have to be able to instruct. I have to be able to mentor, right? And you can be in a position as to, you very well know your skill set very well. You very well know your job. You know your field, but you cannot teach that to somebody else. And I'm pretty sure we all have worked with somebody that had a director role, right? But was ineffective in how they led, right? And a lot of times when you are in an actual director's position, you're having to, first of all, lead other managers, and you're having to really You're having to influence people that you don't necessarily manage. Big shift. Big shifts. Somebody said you must direct as a director. True, but what are you directing them to, and how are they being directed? Right. When I had a full-time job, I myself I had lead roles, right? And for one, it's a lot easier said than done, right? Because you don't realize how you treat the people on your team. It can affect their career growth. It can affect, and I'm almost like, because I don't want this live stream to go in a different way, but I think this is really important. And this all goes back to you knowing the value that you bring, and knowing it is going to come a time when your value has to shift some, right? And so, yes, you are supposed to direct, but at the same time, what are you directing them to? And I am a big advocate, guys. I am a big fan of personal development, because you cannot lead anybody until you have learned how to lead yourself, right? You have to master self leadership. You have to master self leadership. And if you cannot lead your emotions and you cannot lead yourself, you cannot effectively lead a team. So do not be deceived if you get that certain job title you want. A job title does not make you a leader. Ooh, a job title does not make you a leader. But what makes somebody a leader is that they're able to inspire the people that they work with, that they're able to share the vision that's in their mind, and they are able to bring people, not just professionally, right, but they were able to bring forth their team personally, meaning that they are able to have some kind of impact on their team's personal growth. But that's a whole other live stream, okay? So I need you guys to be able to start to identify, like, okay, where I am in my career. Have I started to make the shift in my mind? I knew that I was once like the value that I once had looked like this. Is it now time to shift that? Okay. So what I want to talk about first is I want to talk about what people usually think self promotion is, right? People say, I don't really don't want to, like, I don't feel right whenever I have to just talk about myself, right? They feel like, well, I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to just think I'm all that, right? And I know that women tend to have more problems with this than men, right? Men, for some reason, not everybody, but a lot of the men that I've met, even the clients that I work with, they don't really struggle with this, right? They could struggle with, I don't know how to, but as far as if this is something I should do, it's fine. But I know times with women, we sometimes can be like, I don't want it to sound like, I think I'm all that. No, right? But one of the things I want you to be able to understand is that it is essential for you to be able to express the value that you bring, right? And this is the thing, when you're able to talk about the value that you bring, it's not just about you, right? It's also about the person on the other side. Because now when you could talk about the value that you bring, the other side could see gaps, right? The other side could be able to see there are areas that you could make stronger, right? So don't make it just about you, because even when you're in times when you have to express the value that you have, right? I guarantee there should be some kind of equal exchange, right? Even you guys are in the middle of a job search, right? All a job search is you being able to express the value that you have, and you being able to find opportunities that align with that, right? So when you are having to sit down and tell somebody why you think that you would be a good fit for this job, you are having to express the value that you bring, right? But it's not just about you. You are letting them know, hey, you have a problem that needs to be solved. My skill set can solve that for you, right? So it's not just about, oh, I think I'm awesome and I'm great, though I do think that you should think that. Okay. I do think so. But it is about you being able to let them know, hey, I can help you. When you go to the doctor's office, right? And you saying, I'm sick, I have an issue with this, I have an issue with that. The doctor will then exchange, right? Express the value that they have. This is how I can help you. That's all that they are doing. when you go to, you know, I don't know, anywhere, getting your nails done. Anytime, you're out and you're hungry and you stop somewhere, somebody is always going to be expressing the value that they have. The important thing is that it relates to you, right? And the important thing is that when you are expressing your value to the other side, that it relates to what they need. Okay. So I want you guys to kind of shift your mind and not thinking that when I need to talk about the value that I bring. And a lot of you guys have not received the opportunities that you want to receive at work is because you do not talk enough about yourself and not talk about you all the time, but letting the people you work with know this is the impact that I bring, right? This is how I bring forth those results. Because people tend to assume that people know. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's awesome. And sometimes they don't know. All they really care about a lot of time is if the work is getting done, honestly, right? Especially it depends on who you work for and the actual size of it. And if there's like all kind of stuff happening, they just want the work to get done. So a lot of times they can see the task being done, but they do not know who that is being done by. But most people tend to think, oh, I'll just sit here and I'll just work and I'll just pump out my work and they'll just see how valuable I am. No, friend, this is corporate America. this is corporate, friend. It doesn't work like that, right? Like our parents used to say, like, closed mouths don't get fed. In corporate, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you ask for. And that's what they have not yet to realize the environment that they are in. You are in corporate America. They were built to make themselves successful, right? It was never built to make you successful. And so that's why you have to begin to take charge of your career and not be afraid to state what are those accomplishments that you bring forth. There is a actual spreadsheet I made to help people keep track of their accomplishments and their successes, because the clients I work with, they're in their field for 15, 20 years, and I'm sitting down with them and they go, oh, I think I did. Or, friend, there is extra, there's a raise in the accomplishments that you can't even remember, friend. So I've literally had, like, I've had times where I've sat on Zoom calls with my clients and we went through all of their accomplishments. And at the end, like, some of my clients have been in tears, right? They're like, I cannot believe I've been doing all this, right? I cannot believe I've been afraid to ask for a raise. Hey, I don't know who just said they popped in. For some reason, your name isn't showing. I'm sorry, I have all these comments. I'm great at expressing my value, but once I'm hired, it's an issue. Okay, good. That is a God-given truth. This is how it's always been in corporate America. I don't know why y'all act like corporate America is y'all friend. I just don't understand it. But you know what? When I was in my career, a lot of you guys who may not know me, I was in HR for over 10 years. So I was very not green at first, right? But you start learning, right? And the role that I played in HR was, I've seen how people were actually hired in, and then I myself, I've hired for thousands of roles. And so once you get insight on the hiring process, right? Once you get insight on how folks are fired, once you know the kind of people that they look for, you start to identify. I start learning real quickly that corporate America is not what I thought it was. And people hate, and I've gotten so much flack of when I say that when you're in corporate, there is a game that has to be played. I've gotten so much flack about that, right? It is not saying that the game is necessarily something that's bad, but it is just a system that has been built, and that's just a reality. I have a question, said, why would I want to start with a manager role first before going to a director role? I didn't say that, Mr. Kevin. I didn't say that. I was giving an example on what you need to get into a director role. Those words never came out of my mouth. Okay, so there is definitely a game that has to be played, right? And so in the game that I'm talking about is that you have to be able to be in a position to where you always set yourself up for success. And the way that you do that is being comfortable with being able to talk about your value. Now, somebody just said in the comments that they are good at expressing their value, right? Before they actually receive the job. But it's like once they start, it's an issue, right? And Nicole, I want to talk a little bit about why that is. And this is not saying that it is you. I'm just giving an overall statement about this. What I'm saying is that, for one, people tend to get really focused on bringing forth results, right? Right? Because, people are in this mindset that I have to be able to do my job really, really, really well in order to keep my job. And that's true to a certain extent, right? But the other part of that people don't realize is that you need to be able to let them know what you're doing, right? And so it's easy to get caught up in, oh my God, I'm at work. I'm here from 8 to 5. I have all of these assignments. I have all of these tasks. And you're just in, I need to be able to just like, the work needs to be done. Like, that's the focus, right? And that's what I was saying earlier. You can get so caught up in the routine of life. Yes, ma'am. He was asking me one. And so that's why it's so important to not get so involved in those details, right? And it's so important for you to start focusing on your success. Keep, what does my career need to actually look like beyond this role, right? And when you can keep that in your mind, and when you're able to be able to identify and keep your success at the forefront, now how you do your work, how you engage in your work will give you a completely different perspective, because most people tend to operate from, hey, I got to get this assignment done because I got this order from my boss, and if I don't get this assignment done, then things may not go too well, right? But when your success, not their success, and I'm not saying don't care about their success, right? Because I believe having a good worth, I believe in working hard. I do, right? But keeping your success more of a focus than theirs. And so now when you're having to sit down with these assignments and these tasks, you're not just, your mind isn't just on, I got to make sure that I do this right. So they say this, I need to be able to sit down, learn what I can out of this assignment. So one, I can see if there's any new skill sets that I can gain from this task. Now, when you sit under your work, you can say, okay, wait a minute. Now that this task is being complete, right? Who has this task actually made better, right? Meaning, when I say who has it made better, meaning what actual department is being made. So now when you're sitting down and these tasks are being done, what you're thinking about is, how am I being benefited from this task? Not how are they being, right? But how is this task, like, how does this task make me better? And so that takes a mind shift. So yes, I'm here to work hard. I'm here to use my skill set to solve the problem that you guys have. But I need to make sure that everything that I do is going to bring me closer to my goals, right? I need to be able to make sure that all of these tasks that I do, because many people take on extra tasks at work that has nothing to do with their future goals, right? That is not going to get them closer to the money that they want or even the goals, but they almost turn into this work hard mindset of, I just gotta just push out results, right? And they're not thinking, hey, how does this align with what it is that I want? Because now when you start to align your work with the goals, right? Now you're able to see, okay, wait a minute. Now I have 3 extra assignments on my plate. Okay. Am I doing these assignments, right? Like, what am I getting out of this? Right. And once you start to identify, I'm not getting nothing out of this, you guys are just pushing on extra work. These new assignments are not allowing me to learn any new skill sets. It's not doing anything for me whatsoever. Now it's going to give you a little bit more confidence to be able to have the conversations that you need to have, meaning even with your boss, you may be like, hey, I've noticed that, over the last few weeks, I've had these these extra tasks on my plate, I wanted to know, what are these, objectives, right? And when you start to think about that, think about, okay, I need to prioritize my success. It's going to give you that confidence, and it's going to allow you to work strategically, right? And that is what speeds up that career advancement. That is what speeds up that growth, is when you're able to make strategic moves and not just make moves to just please everybody around you, and not to just make moves to where you like, I'm just gonna do what they say because I want them to see me as valuable. Friend, they see you as valuable, one, when you know that you hold value, and two, when you can start to have conversations that will aid in your career growth, because that is what brings growth in your career. Conversations, not extra work. I'm gonna say it again, for all of my high performers, for all of my my very high achievers. That is what brings growth, is conversations. But you have to be able to know what to have those conversations on. Yes. Mr. Kevin, I'm so glad you asked this question, because a lot of people don't realize it. And I'm going to say loosely, because I know sometimes with certain jobs, they do kind of stick that role on there. But in most director roles, you are having to manage other managers, right? So, and that's where a lot of the people skills come into play. That is a lot of where the soft skills, because if you made it this far in your career, you have a skill set, you have an actual expertise. Now it's about people. It's about people development. And people don't think enough about the soft skills. And they don't, and I'm gonna say this, and people don't understand the responsibility of leadership, right? When you I hate to say a bad leader, when we say this, when you are a undeveloped leader, you can make somebody hate their career. I work with a lot of career changers, right? Like, at least I want to do something else. Okay, cool, right? But I am the kind of coach, I'm not just going to shove you into a job, right? We need to get clear on what is this move about, friend? Like what has caused you to make you want something new, right? And I'm all for you having an urge to do something new, because a lot of times that means that what's happening with you is growth. It means, man, I have outgrown my role, which is a great thing, right? But a lot of times I've helped I help my clients come to a conclusion a lot of times, that is, you don't hate what you do, you hate who you do it for. So when you are wanting a leadership position, there's a level of responsibility that you have to be able to nurture and to develop and tend and to care for the people on your team, right? And so, Mr. Kevin, I think that is a wise move to, like, wait a minute, I definitely don't want to like jump just straight to, right, because it does come with a lot, and so, people don't realize when you're in that actual manager position, you should be learning those skills, right? Even though when you are in an actual manager position, you are in like the mindset is different. Now I've had great managers who acted as directors, like they really was like, they really coached me. But a lot of times what that position is for, you should just give out, hey team, like, these are the goals, and you're just really just instructing people, hey John, you're really just giving out tasks, right? But that director role is just hit different, right? You should be acting as a mentor, right? And so, hey, and then, Mr. Kevin, please let me know if that was helpful enough. Y'all come up in these comments. I'm so glad that this is helpful for you. I felt that you don't hate what you do. You don't like who you work for. Yes, I've helped my clients identify that so many times. It's not that you don't You love working in that expertise. You like working in that field, but because who you work for was just doing too much, now you said, oh, I need to change careers. No, friend. Don't let a bad manager make you feel like I can't make the impact that I know I've been wanting to make. I can't serve with my skills the way that I know that I want to because somebody did not know how to nurture you. That's why I'm big on self growth. I'm big on you knowing how to lead yourself. That's why I'm so excited about this group program that is going to be started. And the reason I did that is because right now I work from clients. I work one to one, but I cannot contain the capacity. It's only one me, excuse me. It is only one me, and I want to be able to help so many more people. And I know that a lot of people cannot always afford to invest what it costs to work with me. So now you can work with me in a group setting, right? And still get the help that you need at an investment that may be a little bit more comfortable. So yes, I'm really, really big, y'all, on self leadership. So let me say this. When it comes to you knowing whether or not if you are fulfilled, I don't think that fulfilled is necessarily a feeling. I think fulfilled is like a way of life, right? And I say that because a lot of people can start to chase this. I want to feel fulfilled, meaning that I want to feel a certain emotion about their job, right? And I think that can be a little bit tricky, right? Because for one, I don't want you guys to chase a perfect job. There is no job that's going to check off every box. And if y'all have had one, friend, you blessed, okay? It is there is no perfect job. So there is always going to be something that is that you may not like or you think that they could do more of, right? But when it comes to be fulfilled, and this is like the core concept of how I coach my clients, this is the core of everything. What it means to be fulfilled in a job is if that job allows you to live the life that you want, right? Because there are times when you can be in a great job, but there are certain days you like, I don't feel like going to work. I don't want to be there, but it doesn't mean that you don't enjoy your job, right? Because as a human, we experience a lot of different emotions and we experience so many different things, right? And so I don't want you to base your career decisions based on emotions, though I think you need to acknowledge them. I don't think that career decisions need to be based upon them all the time, right? I think that your career moves need to be based upon is this job I have getting me closer to the life that I want to live? And that is how I think people need to determine whether or not if they are fulfilled, right? So I think you had a comment and you said that you've been asking for more or a raise, right? And you haven't gotten the response that you think that you should. Now ask yourself, right? People ask me this all the time, and what was your name? I'm not saying to quit, right? But people always ask me when should they leave their job. And I said that's not the question to ask yourself. The question to ask yourself is what is it costing you to stay? So if you know that you are, what's my house? Hi. So if you know that you want to make more, right? For example, like I need to make more. I have goals. I have plans. I want to buy a house the next year. I want to X, Y, and Z. If you know that that position is not going to get you closer to that, now it's time to make a choice. And everybody has a choice, right? And I'm not saying to just quit right now, but just start thinking, what do I need to do? What is the plan that I need to make that is going to get me closer to what it is that I want? Because people waste so much time waiting for a company to change their mind. People waste too much time waiting for a company to change their mind. We used to say this all the time. You know, I mean, now I've been married for almost what 9 years, but before then, like you can't make a man do nothing he don't want to do. It's the same way with these companies. You can't make them do nothing that they don't want to do, right? And so this is why I said earlier, having conversations, that is what's going to grow your career. Because when you have a conversation, when you put on the table, this is what I need, right? First say this is the results that I have brought forth. This is the impact that I have made. Now this is what I need. Having that conversation can let you know whether or not they can meet those expectations, right? And now that you've had that conversation and they have told you, right? Even if they say it's not in the budget, they're still telling you something. They are still telling you, they are telling you, I know what you need, but we are not willing to make that sacrifice to keep you. And that's just got to be a hard reality. But guess what, friend? This is business. It's nothing personal. It does not mean that they don't like you. Well, it could sometimes, but that still ain't none of your business. If they don't like you, that is none of your business. But anyway, right? But when it comes to a company, they do have a certain amount. They do have a particular amount of raises that they can give and things of that sort. So, they have told you. But guess what? It's no hard feelings. You're like, okay, cool. And I don't even like when people want to go look for another job because they're mad at their boss. Don't ever make your career moves about you being mad at anybody or even about you showing them. This is your career. Let your career be about what you need, right? And I tell people, even if you get rejected at work, if you like, man, I've been here and I asked for promotion, I asked for a raise, every time I say something, it's always no. Cool, no hard feelings. That just lets me know that I have outgrown you. That lets me know that my dreams and my goals are too big for you guys to meet. And I'm okay with that. Now it's time to move on. But too many people wait for companies to change their mind. Like people take that we say all the time, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. But you say, okay, know what? All I gotta do is keep doing more work. Friend, all more work does is it just all you get is more work. You don't get no promotion, you don't get no raise. All you get is more work. And all you get is more self-doubt. Because you start doubting yourself and you start thinking, wait a minute, if I'm doing more and I'm not seeing the results of me like being able to do more, that means that there's something wrong with me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with you, right? What has happened is that you have outgrown them. And this is why you guys suffer with so much self-doubt, is because you keep thinking, I must not be doing enough because I'm not getting what it is that I want. No, that's not it. The problem is that they cannot meet your expectations. You have outgrown them, right? So now it's time for you to sit back and evaluate. Now it's time for you to create an exit strategy. Now it's time for you to think about your future and think about what is it going to cost you to keep staying there, to keep waiting on them to realize the fact. I say this all the time, guys. I say this all the time. If you asking for $10,000 a year raise, that's nothing but after taxes, that's like an extra $450 a month. That's all you're asking for. You're asking for an additional $400 something a month after taxes, which is like an extra $200 some a check. So you up here, you working all this overtime, doing your job and 3 other people's job. And you gonna ask them, well, first of all, half of y'all scared to even go ask for $10,000 because you told yourself that that's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. And look, if this is your first time on this live stream, this is how I talk to my friends on here, because I want the best for you. You asking for an extra $10,000 is not a lot of money, friend. I'm sorry, it's not. Right? So when you ask for that and you be like, oh, I asked them for that, and they say no, They just told you something. We don't believe that if we give you an extra $400 and something a month, we don't see the value in doing that. Right? So I need you guys to start thinking about your future. Yes, go to work, my friend. Yes, my friend. I'm gonna tell you, I am a high performer. Like I said before, I work with high performers. I work with people that's going to exceed expectations. That is me. I go hard in everything that I do, right? Because I love to bring forth results. Like I am results driven. I go out even before owning my own business. I exceeded all of my expectations. Oh, excuse me. I exceeded all the expectations of my job, y'all. I was bringing in $1 million contracts for my company, like doing stuff outside of my job scope because I love being able to bring forth a good result, right? But ask yourself, am I getting back what I'm putting in? Okay. And this all ties back into this topic. Now I thought that I was going to be able to go over all my notes, but we're still talking about communicating your value. Why is it important for you to promote yourself? Right? Start having, look, if you want to know where you stand with your company, don't think about what extra assignment am I able to do, right? How many extra hours am I? Think about what conversations do I need to start having with y'all. Like I need to know what y'all really think about me, all right? And the conversations don't even have to be direct, right? When I say direct, I'm not saying that you have to go in and say, "Oh, okay, hey, I want this X, Y, and Z." No, just go in and ask questions, right? Like, a lot of what I do with my clients is I ask the right questions. I don't give my clients the answers. I ask them the right questions. And so with your career, your boss or whoever you work under, I want you to go in. I want you to start asking questions. Things like, what is the growth plan for my role? What is the growth plan for my role? If they like, can't say nothing, that's because they don't have one for you, right? They're not thinking about your growth. Mm-mm. They haven't even thought about what you could do to advance. Now, I'm not saying all companies, but a lot of them. If they have not outlined a growth plan for you, meaning like what is it going to look like for you to be able to grow with them, they don't have one. Why? Because they're not thinking about your growth. They're only thinking about yours, right? Another question you can ask them, you can say, "Hey, what I've been working here for the last 4 opportunities. Are you able to tell me what other opportunities could I possibly, capture here?" Oh, well, right, they don't know. They're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about how can John grow here with us. No, some maybe, right? I'm not saying some, but a lot of them don't, right? You being able to ask them like, "Hey, I've learned X, Y, and Z skills. Is there anybody else in this company that I could talk to who could give me some direction on how can I grow in this role?" Like any questions related to your growth, right? Any questions related to your pay, you can ask questions like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed that that the cost of everything has increased. Can you let me know if any of you guys have started to have conversations about how you guys are able to keep the pay here competitive?" Oh, they don't have no answer for you because they're not thinking about what they need to do to keep you. All they're thinking about is, "Oh, Suzanne, we know that if we ask her, she's gonna always say yes." Oh, yep, just oh no, give it to Suzanne. She gonna say yeah. Oh yeah, her, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, okay. You don't want to do it? Okay, cool. Give it to her. She always says yes. That's what they think about you. And guess what, friend? It ain't no hard feelings. This is business. This is business. Somebody said, y'all have me cracking up. Look. Say, you not playing with us today. I'm not playing with y'all. Because y'all out here too talented to be sleeping on yourselves. And y'all out here too just I cannot, like, this is so much I want to say. A lot of y'all, like, you don't even realize that the success that your team has is because of you. The success that your department has is because of you. The success that your whole company has is because of you. And you keep thinking you don't have enough, and you keep thinking I don't have a right to ask for. Okay. Now, I want to answer some of these questions. Oh, Lord, I just got so much to say. Yes, ask yourself, what is it costing me to stay here? Is it costing me time with my family? Is it costing me money to stay here? Because do not let these 2 to 3% little raises that you get every year make you feel good when inflation is past 6% right now. Sometimes you're actually losing money. When you stop feeling sorry for yourself, when you start understanding, I feel stuck because of the way I think. You feeling stuck is a thinking problem. You're not thinking the right way, right? Because there is a solution to every problem, right? That's why I'm telling y'all, if you guys need help with this next move, if you need help advancing in your career, you need to be joining this group program I'm launching within the next week or two. I'm telling you, it is going to be life-changing. Because if you think my free content, these live streams is something, wait until I can get my hands on your situation. Wait till I can get my hands in your expertise. Wait. You've been talking to me this whole life. I'm so glad. I wish I knew your name. Somebody else said, Alicia helped me with that, working with her one-to-one live streams podcast. I'm telling y'all. And look, and that's the thing. I've told myself this year, like, I'm not sleeping on myself no more. All last year, I was real hush. Yes, my clients getting $75,000 raises. My clients getting $50,000 raises in their current role. Not even looking for a new job, right? My clients are able to go and build careers that allows them to spend more time with their families. I just had a client who was able to land a job where she was able to take her husband off of his job so he can care for their special needs son. Like, I'm out here changing lives. And then you have, and this is not the down talk nobody, right? But in my industry, you guys know that we have a lot of career coaches out here who just give out this fluff advice, and all they want to do is just to be able to push you in a job that you don't halfway like. All they want to know is that you got the job. But I come with something different. I'm helping you to plan out a career that's going to allow you to live the life that you want. And I'm helping you to be able to identify those blind spots in your career that's holding you back. Because most career coaches are like, okay, you want this job? All right, friend, come on. I'm the kind of coach like, wait a minute, what are we running from? Are we running from growth? Maybe it would be good if you stay there, because there are areas that you need to actually grow in. Like, we all about self-development. We are not about using new jobs as band-aids, right? What we are about is about you being able to get the growth that you need to see the growth in your career. Because I'm telling you, if you are shutting down at work, chances are you are shutting down with your husband. Ooh. Hold on. If you can't ask for what you need at work, chances are you're not asking for what you need in your personal life. If you are afraid to set boundaries at work, chances are you're not setting boundaries in your personal life. So after you work in this, and I'm not bragging on myself, again, I am expressing my value. I'm letting you know that it's not just your career that's changed. your life is going to change. I've had clients on the live stream right now who has already said that, right? It's because your career isn't everything, right? But it takes up a lot of your time. It takes up a lot of space up here. So why not feel like you got the right to be able to operate in a career that you enjoy? That why you don't feel like it is impossible for you to be able to have a job that you can show up in and thrive, right? That you don't have to, like, you don't have to use self-care days as some band-aid because you being done so wrong at your job, but you won't leave, right? But now you're able to use self-care days, right, as a way to really relax and not heal. Ooh. Y'all out here using self-care days to heal. It don't matter how many trips you go on, friend. You have to go back to work. Half the time you can't even enjoy your trip because all you're thinking about is I gotta go back to that job. You better than that. You deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. And a lot of times it may not be that I hate my job. It could be that I'm bored. It could be that you're not thriving. You're simply going through the motions of life, not being not being able to operate and make the impact or the money that, because your impact, your income is tied to your impact, right? And if you can't make the impact because you're not even there, you could care less about that job, you won't see the income, right? So I'm all about you being able to excel in life. Like this goes past your job, right? Let me calm down now. If they don't want to have that conversation, that speak volumes. Yes, if you're something that you want at work and they're not having that, they don't even want to have the conversation, friend. Having the conversation is not even a priority to them, speaks volumes. I tell people, even if you ask for something and the answer is no, good. Now you know how to move. This is an amazing statement. We waste too much time waiting for a company to change its mind. That's right. Hey, you ask for what you need, right? And I do believe that it should be collaboration, because I'm not just saying that you just go in there, you just ask for whatever and like, hey, but if you are if you find yourself being able to bring forth the results and you are increasing if you are increasing their success, why can't your success increase as their success does? Why in the world are they getting more successful and you getting less successful? It's just like they say, the math ain't mathing. It ain't mathing. No, they are telling you how much they value you. Miss Tiffany, I'm sorry, my email's going off. It says, is it possible to outgrow a company after being with them for a year? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because people don't realize, like, you determine how fast you grow, right? When you put your career growth in the hands of your boss, you are hurting yourself. You determine how fast you grow, right? You can determine how fast that actual skill set of yours grows, right? So absolutely. And I have people who have felt bad because, like, Alicia, I've only been here for like 6 months and I'm ready to go. Like, I just don't I don't see much more here for me, right? And I think a lot of times that definitely happens when they don't have a clear growth plan for that position and they just kind of hiring people to do tasks and they're not really trying to outline a actual career growth plan for them. Outside of me having to coach my clients, I also work with organizations and I help them with these things and helping them to see, hey, you got to have a clear path for these people or you will lose them. So yes, it is possible to outgrow a company even after being with them for a year. And don't you feel bad about that? Absolutely not. Somebody said, my fiance always tells me that there is no such thing as a perfect job. If there are things I want to change, it is my responsibility to change. I want to see is to be the change I want to see, which may create the space to see for myself and others to thrive in. I was told that companies would never change. Lastly, what is your advice on staying with an organization if you don't agree with management? Okay, that's a really good question. So even with that, like, I'm one that I think you should be open if there are other opportunities there to explore it. And even if you guys are in a position where you necessarily don't really like your job, but you may not be in a position to leave just now, right? For one, start planning an exit strategy. Another thing is that I want you guys to really think about is, I say it all the time, like, what opportunities or how am I able to milk the current role that I have? Like, get everything that you can out of it. So for instance, even if you have asked for a raise and you haven't gotten every time you ask for a raise, they're like, no, no, no. Ask them about development stipends. All right. So if you don't want to give me a raise, will you invest in my development? Right. So you definitely want to be able to explore the other avenues, because I get it. I am a mother. I have a 4-year-old with my husband. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do at the end of the day to feed my family. So I'm not saying just to hop up and leave, but I'm a big advocate in you being able to know that you milked all of the opportunities there. So even if there is an opportunity for you to work in another role there, explore that. Right, because like I said, you could very well like what you do, but if you under the wrong person, friend, you're gonna be like, I don't want to do this no more. You would literally throw away your dream over a bad boss, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, if you have an issue with how they're ran as a whole, you may not get that fulfillment even in that next role if you stay there. So I think you need to ask yourself, which you already said you have a problem with you have a problem with the actual boss you have now. So you could move into something else and be very happy there. Somebody said this live is on point. I love it. Thank you, Isis. So glad to hear that, girl. I'm here every Tuesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Yes, Mr. Kevin. I like Mr. Kevin. He's very engaged. Yes, you can outgrow a company after being with them for a month. Or yep. Well, whatever that time frame is. Miss Brittany said, you're speaking directly to me. Friend, I'm here for you, friend. Yep, that is where I am. I'm in the exit strategy phase. I talked to my mom about that 10K raise and what it adds to. But what if somebody said, I'm sorry, but what if they do say it's budget cap for the role? And that's okay, right? I do understand that every company has a certain amount of funds, right? But I will say that I do think sometimes they use it as an excuse. Right? Because like I said, when you start to break down how much money you're really asking for, you'll start seeing that it's really not that much. And then you have to really look at what is your stake there, right? Because if you put in some work and you brought some results, right, they can find the money. And I'm not saying that to be funny, right? And so it's just about, it's the old saying, it's like, put your money where your mouth is, right? And if they don't have that for you, hey, cool. But now you see that the company you work for may not be able to support the goals you have. So now it's time to make a choice. Ms. Brittany said again, how do we negotiate that, or do we leave it alone? It just depends. It's really a case by case thing, right? Because I've had worked with clients to where they did ask for a raise, but it depends on the feedback you get, right? The company that they work for, there were a few things that they wanted to see first, right? And so she got very clear on what it was that they had to see first. And then she went back with them and thinking like 3 months, and they gave her the raise. So obviously, there were some expectations that had to be met, and she was fine with that. but you just can't let them keep throwing that at you as an excuse. And so I definitely think that you should always, you know, negotiate, but it takes you being clear on the value that you bring, which is something that we are going to be talking a lot about next week in my workshop. So if you guys have not signed up for that, go ahead. You can go to thebestyou.me, because that is what we will be talking about all next week. Somebody said, I made the $9,000 mistake and took on a senior of a role, couldn't meet the demands of the job for senior role and lost job. Yep. And that's the thing. Like I tell people, it's so important to know yourself, right? Know the kind of person that you are, know the kind of environment that is going to take for you to succeed, know the kind of just leadership you need. Like, yeah, okay, you yourself are having to lead, but what is the kind of help that I'll need to be successful in my role? So I definitely think even right now, there's definitely a wave of people that are wanting to get these really higher roles, and they're not doing the work that they need to do to make sure that they are preparing themselves. And I tell people, you don't prepare yourself when you get the job, you prepare yourself before you even have the job. And a lot of times, if you are wanting to even advance in the current job you have, you are easier to promote when they can already see you in that role. We have a career progression for my current role, but I'm not interested in. Good. I'm glad you're able to identify that. And that's the thing, y'all. There is a personal side of your career. Like I'm not saying that, you should not have any connection to your job or to the work, the people you work with. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that you just have to keep that at the forefront of your mind so you don't take it personal when you get that rejection, right? You start realizing and you understand, hey, it's just this is business. And so when you can take that mindset, that can help you to not have to overcome all of this. Oh, it's self-doubt. Oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, because people spend too much time there. Right now we are in a time where people are being laid off, right? And so there are a lot of different emotions that you can definitely feel from being laid off, right? Especially when you've worked for a company for years, when you feel like I'm going above and beyond, right? But when you keep that this is business mindset, now you can bounce back faster and move on to something greater. But if you keep on being hurt, all it does is just slow you down. And also me now that I own a business, you start understanding things, right? You start understanding there are times when hard decisions do have to be made, right? You start understanding things. And so spent almost 10 years without a growth plan. The team was great though. Yeah, you'll be surprised how many. And that's why I tell people, even when you're going through the interview process, ask that question, like, what is the growth plan here? Right. And it's a thing. And even if they say they don't have one, it's not always a bad thing. Well, I mean, it's bad in the sense that they're not trying to forward think about the development of their employees, right? But you can help them with that, right? So it's just something. And then also, that if there is no growth plan, that you need to be a little bit more proactive as well, and not just sitting around waiting for, ooh, I hope they see my value. No, friend, they don't see your value because they don't have no plan for you. So Alicia on point. I needed you. All my clients say that. They said, they're like, Alicia, if I had you years ago, they were like, I'm making so much money. I'd be like, friend, you can start now. You can start now. Somebody said I will be signing up. Good. Miss Lizette, I see you here every week, Miss Lizette. Love how you present this. Thank you. Somebody said, can you help me? I'm constantly being fired a few months to about a year and a half. I will say this: if you're experiencing the same results everywhere you go, there definitely is a gap there. So send me this for anybody. If you want to work with me one to one, send me a message on LinkedIn and schedule a time for us to chat. So I can speak with you about how I can help you, or you can go to my website. I am AliciaPerkins.com. I need to sign up now. Yeah, look. I don't know if you're talking about the workshop or the group. Y'all, when I say I'm so excited about this group, when I tell y'all I'm about to go all in, and I tell y'all there's a certain amount of slots where it will be beta people. So telling y'all it's getting ready to be something good. And that's why, and like I said, I'm on the same path as everyone on the stream. I'm in the point where I am stepping into being able to boldly proclaim the value that I bring, which I have not been doing it for a while. Like, I myself can admit that I have been playing it small, especially, when you get on LinkedIn, you see all of these career coaches doing this, doing that. I myself have been, I've been playing it small. And I'm like, Alicia, and I had a talk with my coach, because yes, I believe every coach needs a coach, and I have a coach. So she was like, you have to stop playing it so small. And she began to help me to identify. And it's crazy. Like, what I help the clients that I work with do, she helps me do. Like, sometimes you need that outside, voice, or that outside eye to help you to identify the value that you bring. And she started helping me to identify the value that I bring, and how I'm changing lives, and how my approach is so different from all of these other career coaches, that nobody is leaning on personal development, because personal development is the key to your career development. And this is a gap that's not being filled. Everybody was once like, oh, you need a new job, you need a new job, you need a new job, but you're having the same problems, right? You're not making the money you want to make. It's nothing to you have enough expertise. You don't need another degree. There is a development problem there. I'm excited. You on one today. I love y'all. Kevin said, no, I want a pizza party in an off-brand soda. If they keep on with these office pizza party, child. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going through all of the comments, making sure I got everybody's questions. I love your advice too. My main issues, though, I keep getting let go, and I need my money. I have a family to feed. And that's the thing, Nicole. I'm so glad you talked about this, because this is definitely an environment that we are in right now, y'all. I get it, y'all. We are in an environment right now, right? Seeing people being laid off. So, but I think people tend to think, for one, I never advocate anybody to just quit on the spot. Never. I think that's your choice. But people underestimate being prepared. People underestimate the power of getting ready for something, right? So even if you are in a position right now where you really don't like, you don't even know the mindset shift that will happen when you start to take the steps to move towards something better. I didn't say move toward, I say take the steps to move towards something. So a lot of I don't like being here, they, whatever. If you just start working on you, if you just start preparing yourself, learning the skills, preparing an exit strategy, enrolling in my program, getting ready, that alone is going to make you feel a lot. It's like you won't feel as stuck, because, like, hey, Alicia, I'm on my way out of here. I am taking the steps that I need to take, right? So even if you're not in a position to where you can't always move fast, or you may not even be in a position to where you can go after the job you want. There are seasons, and I really want to free you guys on here. There are seasons in your life where you may have to take a survival job. Like, Alicia, I really am not excited about this position. It's just, I got a family to feed. I told you, I myself have to feed. I'll do whatever I have to do, right? And so you may have to say, you know what? I'm going to have to take a survival job so I can just meet the obligations of life. That takes nothing from you whatsoever, right? But it's like, you can't get stuck in that, right? As you are on that survival job, you know what I mean? you're still working on the back end to move towards something more, right? So I say, do what you got to do for now, right? But it's when you start to invest in your growth and you start to make a plan and you start to take action steps, it's going to make you feel so much better. And even while you're in that survival job, you can still feel confident because you know that I'm not going to be here always. You could tell yourself, I'm on my way out of here because you're taking the necessary steps to make your career better. So I definitely understand that. Somebody said, what is the website to sign up again? If you're talking about the workshop is thebestYou.me. The workshop is thebestYou.me. If you're talking about the group program, that website it'll be up within the next week. That's actually, I'm in the process of doing that now. But if you send me a message on LinkedIn, I can add you on the list. And so when that website is live, I can let you know. Or you can also join my newsletter. You can go to careertea.me and sign up on that list. And so as soon as it's released, you'll know. And that's careertea.me. Somebody said, working on an investment stipend specifically for your workshop next week. Yay! Let me know. Let me know. And that's the thing you guys don't know. Like, I've had clients who their job has paid for them to work with me. So if you cannot get a raise, they will invest in your growth where they should. If I was employed and had money coming in, I would definitely take your workshop. And that's fine, Mr. Kevin. I have tons and tons and tons of free content. Like I have a live stream I do every Tuesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. So I save all of my live streams on YouTube. So you can definitely go over there. My name over there is I Am Alicia Perkins. I have a podcast that I drop every Thursday that is on my podcast. My mind went blank. Yeah, my mind went blank. Lord help me. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm so ashamed. Here we go. I have a podcast called Career Revamp. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Career Revamp that drops every Thursday. And then I also have a blog that I do on my website. I drop every Monday. So I'm giving out value. I give out value 3 times a week. My blog on Mondays, this stream every Tuesday, and then also have a podcast every Thursday. So you could definitely still get value from me. Somebody said, Mr. Kevin said, that is what my amazing wife says. There's a season for opportunity. When that season has passed, it's time to move on. Exactly, man. Like don't feel like your season that you're in is your end. Absolutely not. This is just a season. But the thing about it is, learn what you have to learn from that season. Sometimes, and y'all know, I love the Lord. And I really believe that through every season that you go through, right, God wants you to learn something from that. And sometimes it can be, because I have been in positions where I didn't have a job. I've been in positions where I've been laid off. And in those positions, God wanted to show me, yes, you have a job, Alicia, but I am your true provider. I'm the one who provides. And it was times in my career when I was doing all good and I was, I started feeling good about myself, which you should feel good. But God had to take me off my job and say, Alicia, I need you to know that with or without a job, you're still valuable. So I'm one that you definitely should learn things through the different seasons of life that you experience. And don't ever let anything just go to waste. And I say go to waste. And so even if you are in a season where you don't have a job, use that opportunity to be able to spend more time with your family. Use that opportunity to learn more skills. Use that opportunity to spend time with yourself. If anybody who love the Lord, hey, spend time with the Lord. Sometimes God will take things out of your life because you have not allowed yourself to spend the time with Him that you need to be spending time with Him, and so you just never know why these things are happening. And so I remember I was going through, guys know I'm really busy. I own a full-time business. I have a child that's 4 years old. I actually homeschool her, pastor's wife. So my life is really busy. And I got to the point, I was tired. Like I felt like I was like, I'm exhausted. I said, Lord, if you could just make a way for me to get some rest. Yeah, I got COVID. Now, I did not know that the way that the Lord was going to bless me was I was going to get the virus, but I got COVID, right? And my whole house had it. So my husband had it, and then my 4-year-old had it. But guess what, y'all? I was able to stay at home and rest for 3 weeks. Now, did I think my rest was going to come like that? Absolutely no. Right. And I was sick the first few days. Like, everybody who say having COVID is like having the flu, lies. 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 I ain't never had no flu like that. I was sick, okay? But I was sick for the the first few days, right? But I was able to get 3 weeks of rest, like just sitting down, not having to do nothing. And so you might even find your times where you don't have employment, right? That could be God saying, okay, all I need to do is I need to slow you all the way down, right? Somebody said, yes, I have done bills. Yeah. Yeah. And if the reality is folks got bills. So I definitely understand. Um, Speaking the facts as usual, I have been missing your voice of reason. I wish I knew who this LinkedIn user was. Well, thank you so much. Hey, Brian. For anybody who doesn't know Brian, he goes up to my church, Refuge Temple. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. And yes, you are very right about that. The scripture that he's saying that, you know, that promotion doesn't come from the east or from the west, but it comes from the Lord. So what he's saying in that scripture is that the things that we want, it does come from God. But I'm a firm believer. And I actually had a podcast I heard the other day, and they had somebody who said God can't bless who you're not. And a lot of times we're not in a position to receive the things of God, right? We have not, we are either still holding on to bad traits. We are in a position to where we have not made the right mind switch. And I know that people tend to say all the time is like, what's for you, you know, is yours. I don't believe that. I definitely believe that you can miss out on what's for you if you don't position yourself, right? If you don't earn those skills, because even all through scripture, you'll even start to see that, you know, people had to prepare themselves to be in a certain place, that God did not bless them until they were in a certain place. And so, you know, we can say that things come from God, and I believe that, but sometimes you have to sit down and look at yourself and say, am I keeping back the things that God wants to bless me with? Right? Because what God is not going to do is he's not going to allow you to operate in a position that is going to either, you know, that is going to take you from him, right? And so that's why I'm big on development. When you look all throughout scripture, it's about you having to grow. It's about development. And so we can't have this mindset of where, oh, God's going to do it. He can, but have you position yourself for him to? So thanks for that, Brian. God is a provider. He has given me a board chair position where I'm overseeing all functions of a charter for elementary school. Yes, he is. I love that for you. Thank you for sharing that. Whew, yes. Thank you for sharing that. You do not know how the Lord will provide until that happens. You don't know what God will do. You really don't know, you know, and that's what I'm all about. One, spending time with God, being able to hear his voice. And I've told you guys, like when I have clients, and I don't push my beliefs on my clients, right? Because I know that you hire me for expertise. But I do believe that when it comes to God's word, there still are principles that the world still lives by. Kind of like what I said earlier when I began to say how I talked about how, you know, when my clients come to me and like, Alicia, you know, I'm tired of this job. I'm ready for a change. We have to be able to identify what is going on, right? Because you can't run from stuff, right? You will have to be able to identify what are those blind spots in you, right? And not being able to feel like, oh, just because I received this new job, then I'm gonna be good. That's why I say the whole core of my coaching is development. So absolutely. Every season for a reason. Alexa said, I enjoy your lives and posts. I'm looking forward to the workshop. Yes, go. And with this workshop, there are 2 ways that you guys are able to register. You are able to do the first option where it's only going to be 2 days, but if you do the second option is 3 days, and so that third day is going to be straight strategy day. Because I don't do the workshop to where all you do is you sit there and you look and slide the slide. No, we will be strategizing. So hey, it was Lorraine, that's you. Hey, Brian said, that's right. But faithful I work today. You still have to skill up and have the right credentials. Absolutely. And that's the thing. I really believe this. Like, it was a message we had at church like 3 weeks ago, maybe I don't know. But it was a message that we had. And they began to say, like, when you're in God, you should want to do everything in excellence, right? You should want to be able to do things right and have those skills and different things like that. Because what you don't want to keep doing is just keep thinking that there's no need for growth. There's always need for growth. Me being the skills to advance in their careers, it helps them overall. It helps them with their family and different things of that sort. So I definitely don't want you. I want you guys to start thinking like not just what I need to do so I can be, 100% on my job. I want you to think about what do I need to do so I can be 100%. Like, what is it that I need to do so I can succeed just in life? Ruth's appointment was hers, but she had to make a decision to move. Otherwise, God, y'all in here preaching this morning. Y'all in here preaching. Yes. And look, Ruth had to be in the right place for Boaz to even see her. Ruth had to be out in the field. So God can have something for you, but are you even in the right place for the opportunity to even present itself? For instance, you keep saying, "Oh, this is the kind of job I want," but you keep being scared to apply for jobs. How does that work? Right? So yes, like you got to put yourself in a position for God to be able to bless you with things. 100%. You can miss out on what's for you if you don't present yourself and prepare yourself. Yes, I'm all about preparation. I'm all about preparation. 100%. Y'all up in here. I'm telling you, the Lord will provide. I've seen him do it over and over and over again. And I'm a firm believer of like God will do exceedingly and abundantly above you can ever ask or think. Like he will do it for you. Absolutely. Sometimes we hold on to past hurts, trauma, beliefs, and a lot of limits us from moving forward. A lot of people hold on to stuff, hurts. And that's why I said earlier, it's so important to make sure that when you are wanting to advance in your career or even find a new job, you don't need to be like your career move shouldn't be based on anybody else. Oh, you really upset about what happened at your other job. No, it needs to be about you and what it is that you need. And I think that in order to even be able to heal from these things, you once have to be able to not focus on what you do, but you have to be able to focus on, why do I do the things that I do? Why am I always responding like this? Like, why is this always the thoughts in my head? Why is it always easier to believe that people think something wrong about me than right? So it's about you being able to identify not just what you do, but why do you do it? I'm big on praying for more, but also praying for the strength and mindset to keep it. Yes. And that's the thing that made me, and I'm almost done. It's so important for people to realize, and I'm using like the spiritual connection to the other side too, right? And this is about the concept of career management, right? People tend to only think about their career when it's time to look for a job, right? And I say that because it's like you say, like, when it's time to get something new or something more. But it's like, how do you manage your career? How do you position yourself for success, right? When you already have the job, like, what are you doing to really maintain what you have? And I think that is what is the key to having just overall success. Is not always being in a mindset to, I gotta have more, but what are you doing with what you already have? And that is where it comes to the mindset of, do you even think about your career outside of when it's time to look for a new job? Right now, we have tons of people who are being laid off from their jobs, right? And it's scary for a lot of people. A lot of people have not been on a job interview in years. A lot of people have not updated the resume in years, that they don't even know what is happening in the job market because they have been completely out of touch, right? And so that's where that whole you needing to know how to manage your career comes into play. Okay. Maybe you need to have a how to have it in practice face session. Just say, hey, I'm not scared. When y'all want to do it? We can do it next Tuesday. Y'all want to do it? We can talk about how to incorporate God in your career. I'm not scared. Y'all know. Y'all know. If this is something y'all want to do, you guys let me know. And I will schedule it for next Tuesday because I'm not scared. Okay. So if this is something y'all want to do, you can either send me messages on LinkedIn or you can drop a one. Because you guys know when it comes to God, I talk about God on almost every live stream I do. So let me know. And we could definitely talk about what does it look like to one, build a career that honors God, right? What are those biblical principles, when it comes to work and God? Okay, hey, we're gonna do it next Tuesday at 8:30. I ain't scared. Yeah, okay, it's good. Okay, good. Okay. And I'm excited. So next Tuesday, what we're gonna talk about is, just even how to be a servant of God on your job. Ooh, okay, look. I always tell y'all, if y'all are sensitive, don't come. Okay. But if you really want to know how to honor the Lord and build your career, let's do it. All right. So, okay, the link. So for one, well, if you're on my email list, the actual link is sent out to you every week, but it will be on LinkedIn next Tuesday at 8:30. 8:30 Central Standard Time. And I'm excited about this one. Okay. I'm excited. Oh, I enjoyed this talk with you guys so much. It blessed my soul, y'all. It blessed my soul so much. Whew, I really enjoyed this live stream, guys. It has just it was so good. So, and I didn't even really get to like half my notes, but but I do want to say again is that we will be talking a lot more in detail, guys, about this in my workshop that will be next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have not had an opportunity to sign up. Saturday is the last day to purchase, to enroll. Okay, so this workshop, I'll be showing you how to really get clear on the value that you bring. I'm also going to be teaching you guys how to build strategic relationships in your workplace, and also how to even have a brand that can attract higher paying opportunities for you. So if you are interested, go ahead and you can scan that code, and you can also go to thebestyou.me to get registered. And I'm so excited. I will definitely see you guys next what I said? Tuesday. Sorry. Next Tuesday at 8:30 Central Time. I'll be talking about how to have a career that honors God. Ooh, I'm excited. All right, guys. I'll